Shalom, Yasharallah. This your brother Dawudah, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto YAHAWAH, Bahashim, YAHAWASHI, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. All right, so I want to jump into this here topic again, dealing with reparations, because the more and more they keep putting this into the news, these are things that's slowly but surely putting our people to sleep. All right. Like the scripture said, gift destroyeth the heart. All right. Because now what do you have going on? Our people are being raised up slowly but surely. Our people are starting to see the commotion that the men of the Lord are causing out there on the highways and the byways and on these videos, basically there's no, like the scripture said, there's no cloak for your sins right now. Because why? The Lord back in those times when the Lord said, had I not come there, pretty much he came, there's no cloak for your sins. There's no excuse now, pretty much the same thing is going on now. You got the men of the Lord on the highways and the byways and on the internet, and we flooding this thing so bad that Esau has to put us on the mainstream media news to try to demonize us. He has to change up the, basically the waves that we, upload, with the YouTube and things like that, our main platform. All right. He has to try to stop all these different things and create all these laws to stop this here wave from going out that's waking up Jake. All right. And you getting Jake riled up on all these different things. There was an article that one of the brothers put out, and I believe one of the other brothers did a video on it this morning. But nevertheless, about how they trying to, we always knew this was coming, like I was saying, like I just did a video the other day on propaganda and all these different things. I constantly speak about how, they have certain things that they, they're not directly calling us out on it, but they, they putting this into the people's minds. So once, you accuse this person of it and they be like, well, this is wrong, so on and so forth, we all can come to agreement that this here is wrong, for the first time. This is the first type of case like this. But now, and that case isn't on us. But once you get people used to that, like, well, we already did it to them, we might as well take these guys out too, because they're doing the same thing. All right. So this is, this is all basically propaganda and ways to pretty much rock Jake back to sleep. All right. Because why? Like the scripture said, a gift destroyeth the heart, man. All right. Jake wasn't worried about slavery. When we was on the highways and the byways and we was bidding them to the marriage and we was asking them about their nationality and who they were. And if they didn't know, like, well, are you a descendant of slavery? The majority of them, their responses is, fuck slavery. We don't want shit to do with slavery. Why you always talking about the past? Get over that. I ain't no slave. My people ain't no slave. Our people, the things that had happened to us was so bad that our people don't want to identify with their own self because of how bad it was for our people. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, let's say you one of these celebrity rappers or whatever, whatnot, right? And all of a sudden, you get caught slipping and somebody beat your ass and it's caught on the internet, on a video. And it's streaming, they uploading it all over the internet. That rapper will probably come out, well, that wasn't, if it's a kind of a blurry picture or whatever, whatnot, they'd be like, oh, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. Because they don't want that so-called shame, knowing that was you that got your ass beat and everybody looking at you and laughing at you, you being humiliated. But you're going to be like, no, that wasn't me in the video. Did you see my face? Did you see my face clearly? That wasn't me. Like, bro, it's the same outfit you was wearing, the same car you was in with the same people. Like, and you beat up. Like, come on, it is. No, that wasn't me. You got all the physical markers, but yet you trying to run away from these things. But now all of a sudden, all right, that person, that same situation, a rapper who got his ass beat, put on the internet, humiliated, 6 months go by, he's over here saying that that wasn't him the whole time. Now all of a sudden the court system come out saying, you know what, whoever was in this here video, they pretty much won this here lawsuit, they're going to get $1 million. Now that same rapper be like, oh yeah, that was me, because there's some kind of incentive or some kind of prize with it. Like, yo, man, why don't you just be honest about the things that you into? If that was you over there getting your ass beat, yeah, that was me. See what I'm saying? And not to dwell on, rappers and things like that. I'm using it as a metaphor for us. All right. Because we basically that rapper that got our ass beat on the internet and everybody humiliated us. Oh yeah, y'all slaves. We know y'all some niggas, this and that. We the bottom of the bottom. The thing that happened to us is so worse. And I use that analogy because I know with today's generation, they all on this internet stuff and clowning people on the internet. So they would understand that. Like, bro, you can't put me out on the internet like that. So that's how our people internally feel about this slavery. That action was so, not just that, but all the things that had happened to us was so bad that our people don't want to identify with these things. But now when it's some money that come to it, all right, the so-called white man presented to you. Now our people want to jump on the bandwagon, but they didn't want to come to the Lord when the Lord was calling his people. All right. So let me go ahead and get into this here article. It says reparations for slavery in 2020. All right. And like I said, this is why all these things are coming out right now, because reparations isn't a new idea. All right. They talked about this way back when. All right. This is where you get the 40 acres and the mule. But why do you need this going on now? All right. Measuring the time diligently. We at the end of all this. Now Esau's having to fess up to all his atrocities. All right. It's pretty much like, if you're looking at this all in the carnal sense, right? We came over here in captivity, right? But now, all right, let me give you a different example. All right, that is the example, but you done went to jail for a long ass time, right? The guards and shit, they treat you like you an inmate. Everything, you know, you done did some fucked up shit. You an inmate, whatever, whatnot. They're going to treat you like an inmate. You know, you locked down for whatever reason, whatever, whatnot, you know? But before you get out of prison and stuff like that, you go to what they call a halfway house, right? Or a halfway home, to where in this halfway home, they trying to get you back into society. They trying to integrate you back into society where, you know, you in this here place and you able to leave. You know what I'm saying? You able to leave and go get a job. You know, I had an aunt, that lives in Atlanta when I was living back there not too long ago, you know, where she used to drive a van for this halfway house, you know, to where she would get the inmates, whatever, whatnot, take them from the spot down to the train station. They would go out and go get their jobs, try to get reintegrated back into the society. All right. So if you was that inmate or you knew about that inmate, you could be like, all right, well, it's almost time for his captivity to be over. He's about to transition. Esau is allowing him to get back into this here society because he's about to be a so-called productive citizen here. All right. So the same thing is going on here. What if you read, you know, measuring the time diligently and things like that? We, that prisoner that came in here, did the long stint. Now we're about to basically get up out of our captivity. We're about to be delivered up out of our bondage. All right. So reading and writing on the wall, this is why all these things are starting to happen to come out like this. But you don't want to get distracted. All right. You don't want to be in that halfway house. You going out there, you leaving, you know, the compound to go get a job. You don't want to get back on the block, you know what I'm saying, and get you a job at McDonald's, right? And then all of a sudden you'd have met Ray at the spot, and Ray trying to put you on, and now you out there flipping birds and shit. You don't want to be doing that shit. You're gonna get right back into it. All right. That's pretty much where we at now. You don't want to get rocked back into this damn sleep, man. You don't want to get right back into this damn prison. And this is pretty much a trap, man. All right. Esau, you look around the world, look at the rest of his fruits, man. He's not letting no other nation have none of their resources. He's over there in Venezuela right now. Why y'all think y'all debating with him, and he's, you know, thinking about it. Like, I'll think about giving y'all reparations. Your Israelite brothers over there in Venezuela, and he's taking away their resources right now. So what make you think he gonna fairly give you any resources? All right, when is he ever giving you anything fairly? All right, he give you education, he get a so-called white man education, but your education is a poor education. He give you a grocery store or food and things like that, but he got his different. He got his healthcare, your healthcare. You see what I'm saying? His loans, your loans. He got his way of doing things and your way of doing things, and he never really treats you right. You got to understand your enemy. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through this here article. It says reparations for slavery in 2020, justice at last, or attention seeking by Democrats. All right. Now, just as a real quick, man, money is not justice, man. All right. It's a righteous thing to repay them that trouble you. All right. It says and you got to pay back double, man. All right. It says with Democratic front runner Cory Booker mulling plans to compensate descendants of slaves, the controversial campaign issue have some hope in it could tackle racial inequality, and others saying we need to let sleeping dogs lie. Why? Because they want to the ones that want to let sleeping dogs lie is the so-called white man. All right. They don't want to give up all these things because they know. I mean, like if any so-called white man really wanted to be honest about this shit, man, they would come to the terms of like, yo, I'm really not shit, man. Everything I got, I get from these niggas, man. These niggas. First of all, let's go back to slavery times, right? You know, not even slavery times, right after slavery. I was actually just talking to my grandma last night. She was telling me how she was getting this new account because my grandma, they live off in the country. They still doing the same thing that they was doing back in the days. She was telling me how she was getting this new account to clean house because she cleaned houses and bake cakes and stuff like that, right? So she was like, this new dude, this real rich dude who live out here in Palm Beach, real rich dude, doctor or whatever, whatnot, want her to clean his house. And he was telling her this and that. He was like, yeah, I got a nana. And me and my grandma both kind of laughed. Like, yeah, he got him a mammy. I'm like, these motherfuckers they don't know how to do shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, they didn't know how to raise their babies. They had us raising their kids. They don't know how to run their own business. Even to this day, when you go to any business, we at the very bottoms. All right. So, but if they was to make everything equal, we had equal opportunity. We have, you know, there was an equal amount of businesses. Let's just say that the so-called white man owned 10 businesses out of, you know, not just a single so-called white man, but overall in America. Let's say there's 20 businesses in America. 10 of them are owned by the so-called white man. 10 are owned by Jake. You see what I'm saying? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The so-called white man know that without us advertising, us working for his shit, manufacturing his shit will go down real quick. All right, we the ones with the sauce. We the ancient. How does the scripture say? Basically, we're the former of all things. All right, we the trendsetters. We come up with all the things, and plus, like I said, we the ones working in all his factories, giving him all his shit. All right, he might have his name on the building, but we gave him all his ideas. All right, so this is why they will want to let sleeping dogs lie, because they want to maintain being on top. They realize, like, yo, dog, you know, just like at any business, if you know you at this business and this business is making millions of dollars, right? You got 100 employees, whatever, making millions of dollars. Well, shit, I could probably give you a even better one, right? So, because I know a lot of our people watch sports and shit, right? You know, you got the LeBron, whatever team, right? You got this team of players, right? They're the ones making the owner money. Now, if the owner himself had to go out there and listen to the coach and run all these plays and this and that, you look at all these owners or whatever, they're not really in shape or nothing like that to be running around no field and bringing in money and doing all this and that. If all the players left and they had to go out there and make their basketball team work, they would give up the team, because they'd be like, bro, I'm not going to be out here doing all this here work. I can't do that. I'm not a basketball player. I can't play the whole team or whatever, whatnot. But it's because of a collective of Jake, all right, that's on a basketball court that's playing, and a real collective of Jake that's watching and supporting and buying all this here merchandise. That's what's keeping you in business. But if you take Jake away from that, then you just fail. You know what I'm saying? You could take Jacob out of the NBA and all of that, and we can go start our own shit. We're going to still thrive while your business fail. All right. This is why they want to just let it go. All right. It says conservative commentator Anthony Brian Logan says that while reparations for slavery may have made sense immediately after the fact, all right, which reparations was paid immediately after the fact, but not to us. It was paid to the slave masters, the landowners, the ones who wound up losing profit due to losing so-called slaves. Then they pretty much wound up getting them right back into slavery with so-called sharecropping and things like that, and then wound up, you know what I'm saying, and fleecing them that way. All right. And then they also with the land grabs, all these what they call it, redlining, and all these housing bills that allowed them to get these vouchers for housing, the reconstruction period, and all these different things. They got plenty of reparations. We never got no reparations. We was never made whole. All right. It says 150 years have passed since then, making it a lot more tricky to know who should be paying whom. Hey, that's simple. Like, who was over here to begin with? The so-called Native American Indians, right? The so-called Latino tribes, right? They was over here first. So you can pretty much exclude them from out the picture for this here statement I'm about to make, right? Beyond them, who did they meet first? The so-called white man came over here. Then the so-called white man wound up fucking them up. You see what I'm saying? Which they deserve reparations too. But obviously these people want to be simple, only want to talk about so-called black people. But but nevertheless, the so-called white man came over here, and then he brought Negroes over here. So it's not hard to fucking tell who is who. We wasn't over here like that. Now, you had dark-skinned people that look like us over here, but I mean, what? The tribe of Reuben, they look exactly like us. All right. There's a place like right down the street, not down the street from where I live, but not far from where I live, where pretty much it was a main area for where the so-called Seminole Indians, the Reubenites, live, and they still live there today. All right. It's two little hoods called Oneiko and Samoset. And if you go over there, you would just think, you know, if you ain't know nothing about the tribes, you would just be like, oh, these niggas is a bunch of black people. But the majority of them will tell you, no, we actually Native American Indians. All right. But nevertheless, it says, moreover, today's politicians, hold on, let me go back. It says, more than 150 years have passed, then making it a lot more tricky to know who should be paying whom. Again, who's at the top and not to say who's at the top and who's at the bottom. Yo, the so-called white man as a whole, you know, your skin is a marker to tell you what group of people did it. This ain't got shit to do with skin color or race or nothing like that. But just the fact of the matter is that, let's say, you know, the same thing happened, but let's say people who brought the slaves over here just so happened to, not even gonna say have a green skin. We're gonna just keep it like this. Let's say that everybody who brought us over here into slavery, they all had this tattoo with a big ass G on their chest, right? This brand on their chest, or whatever, whatnot, right? And then the people that they brought over here, all right, they had a big brand on their chest, but they had an F on their chest, right? So it ain't got shit to do with the skin color or nothing like that. This is that. You could just be like, well, Group G wound up bringing Group F over here. So if Group G If you still got that G on you, you the ones who brought them over here. It's not hard to find. Y'all separated by these letters. You know, y'all are branded with G's and y'all are branded with F's. Group G brought Group F over here. All right. So it's not hard to tell who is who, man. And basically here today, I mean, hell, we pretty much branded like that. You know, we got our so-called skin color. All right. And we got history. The history books tell you they took plenty of pictures. They made plenty of mockery. You can see plenty of pictures of them sitting there hanging us in trees and burning us. And when you look at the crowd, the people that was hanging in the trees, they all look like, you know, they basically all look like me, so-called black men. And all the people around looking at them rejoicing was all so-called white people. All right. They all look like basically your Donald Trumps and so on and so forth. So it's not hard to tell who is who, man. All right. It says, moreover, today's politicians are not looking at the issue in earnest. It's no more than a campaign promise for Democratic hopefuls trying to get some kind of attention. And that's the key point that I want to stress out to our people. Don't worry about this propaganda and this reparations and all this stuff. I know that it sounds good, but a gift destroyeth the heart. You got to keep the scriptures first and foremost. All right. But nevertheless, this is just a campaign just to get, because what you so-called Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans don't know is you motherfuckers is the ones who actually make a change in the how do they say when it comes time to voting in the elections. All right. Now your candidates are selected, right? But the voting does matter, right? But it matters for a certain reason. And you voting ain't gonna vote nobody into power. All right. But it matters for a certain reason. All right. And so this is how it is. You got 100, you basically got 100%, right? Now you got Democrats and Republicans, right? You'll have basically like with these Edomites, they're going to pretty much be the same shit forever, right? They're going to always be on the same side. Them and their wives, they're going to always be on the same side, no matter what the situation is from, you know, from the beginning all the way to the end. So these people aren't really going to ever change because they like being where they at. It benefits them the best, you know, whoever they are. So you're going to have 45% that's going to stay Democrats, 45% that's going to stay Republicans. Right. So that leaves you with 90%. Right. So you still got a 10% that's out there. Now they struggling over this here 10% vote. Right. To see who, not to say who see who going to win, but to see now the vote is not to see who's going to win, but they looking at this 10% vote. Who's in this 10% vote? Basically, it's you so-called black women, because the majority of the rest of the people, they not even allowed to vote. They either what, felons, they got some kind of thing to where they can't vote. You see what I'm saying? So they not going out there to vote. And plus, they're not really going to the polls to vote anyway. Most, like, let's say so-called black, really most Jake men, they're not worried about no shit like that unless they just like super brainwashed. They're not really into no shit like that. So they're not going to go and vote anyway. A lot of this is on these so-called black women. You know what I'm saying? They the ones going to vote because they hearing out, you know, they pander to them. They campaign to them. Oh, we're going to give you better food stamps or this, and that. So this is why the campaign things are all on them like that. All right. They want that so-called vote. They want the women's vote. We go, hey, why are they talking about the women's vote and this, and that? Because they want these here women. They know the women are the ones that so-called voting. All right. Now, on top of that, the majority of these people that's doing this is the people that's in church because they got the leaders in the church telling these people to sit here and vote. Now, again, the vote is not determining who's going to win the presidency. The vote is determining whether or not they still won you over. They trying to see and make sure they testing the water. They testing to see if you still up under this here bullshit and you believe in their bullshit. All right. Because why? You voting basically saying, yeah, we still accept your bullshit and we still accept you taking advantage of us. We still accept all this here wickedness. That's all you doing when you vote, no matter who you vote for. You see what I'm saying? Because the candidate is already elected by them and selected by them. You're not changing that. You just okaying to them that, yeah, we still brainwashed to them. This is like, if me and you partners or whatever, whatnot, or you the bank and I'm coming to you to get a bank account, right? And I found out that you was, stealing out of my bank account. And I caught you like, yo, dog, y'all been, you know, taking money out of my bank account, and I bring it to your attention. You're like, oh, okay, my bad. Just keep banking with us. And I keep banking with you, and I keep finding out you're stealing it. We keep going, back and forth. Every time I forgive you and I keep banking with you, I'm telling you basically I'm still dumb enough to believe that you're not going to keep stealing from me. So you're going to keep stealing from me. This is how these elections keep going on. But as they see now with all these like with this reparation thing, there is a different movement on the internet saying like pretty much like, yo, they don't give us, if they ain't talking about reparations, we ain't voting at all. Now that becomes a huge threat to this whole situation because they need you to keep voting. If you don't believe in the system no more, that's their whole power. You see what I'm saying? Like their whole power is just really deceiving you. They don't really have a gun to your head. They just telling you like, look, nigga, if you don't do this shit, then such and such, so on. The worst of the worst is going to happen. You see what I'm saying? It's like you robbing a store with a gun under your shirt. You know, it's really your finger. You see what I'm saying? But the fear of the so-called white man has got us in these predicaments. All right. But let me read that last line again. It says, It is no more than a campaign promise from Democratic hopefuls trying to get some kind of attention. All right. They trying to just make some kind of attention. They want you to keep your eye onto them, because as long as you keep your eye over there, you fully distracted, and they understand that. All right. Just as a quick look down here at this here image, you know, just quickly going into spirits. Notice who they have talking about this so-called black people. Right. Because they use people who, like, if there's a so-called Mexican situation, they'll get so-called Mexicans to make the people believe that they actually into what they're talking about. What you don't realize is these two so-called black people are reading scripts. This isn't what they believe or whatever, whatnot. They're reading scripts, which is being told to them by the so-called white man. All right. So even if you getting these ideas about these things, it's all the so-called white man steering you back into a death trap. All right. It says attorney and author Reese Everson called the argument ridiculous, saying that if she stole a large sum of money from someone, her death would not stop her victim from trying to get the money back. And which that is completely true. And that's actually how American laws are set up. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, you have what they call a statute of limitation of certain things. All right. So like there's no statute of limitation on murder. If you murder somebody, no matter how long go by, you see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like say, for instance, I believe for certain drug charges, it only lasts for, you know, certain years. This is how you get these rappers that can talk about the shit in their music. Like, well, that was years ago. The statute of limitation is to pass by. But when you talk about murdering somebody, there's no statute of limitation on that. You could have killed somebody and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, right there on your deathbed, you can literally be charged for that. I mean, they bringing out, people from, World War II and the Nazis and stuff, like they're trying to charge them for certain things. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? The scriptures say it's a righteous thing to pay them back. You know, you gotta, you gotta pay back that recompense. You know, you can't just, like the scripture say, the Most High is not mocked. Whatever you sow, that what you gonna reap. All right. You can't be planting wickedness and not expect to get wickedness back, man. All right. But it says, attorney and author Reese Everson called the argument ridiculous, saying that if she stole a large sum of money from someone, her death would not stop her victim from trying to get the money back. And which that's the main purpose of this. But deeper than that, like what the Most High got set up for us, we don't want their money back, bro, because they took more than money from us. They didn't actually take money from us, because we didn't have no money when we came over here for them to take from us. Yeah, they taking money from us right now, little bitty pennies and shit like that. But for the amount of money you asking, motherfucker, they took way more than that from you. You see what I'm saying? They took your life. They took who you are. They took your God. They took your customs. They took your heritage. They took your language. They took everything from you. All right. Your identity. All right. It says it's too late to repay the victims of this dark chapter in American history. Oh, is it too late to repay the victims of this dark chapter in American history, or are we making things worse by passing the buck? All right. It says, is it too late to repay him back? No, it's never too late to pay him back. All right. But then they want to keep passing it on down, passing it on down, passing it on down until eventually we forget about it. All right. Rocking us back to sleep. All right. Give me 1 second. All right. Now let me grab some scriptures real quick. And then we're going to go ahead and close out, because like I said, man, if you understand this from what the Most High have set up for you, this all just looks ridiculous, man. And if you, well, it don't really sound ridiculous, because like them paying us back for the shit that they did, that's actually a righteous thing to do. But you know what I'm saying? It's like what was really going, the ridiculousness of it is, yo, you done stole, like, let's say a company from us, or what, let's just say you stole $100 from us, right? And you didn't went and lived it up on that $100, and then you want to try to pay us back. And you'd be like, well, I paid you back. Like, nigga, you gave me 2 pennies back. Well, I paid you back, didn't I? Like, nah, but that's nowhere near what you took from me, man. You got to make me whole again. All right. That's what that's talking about, making them whole again. I believe that's actually what the word reparations go into, to make whole again, to repair that what was damaged. All right. And you know what I'm saying? If you took $100 from me and you give me back 2 pennies, that's not making me whole or repairing the damages that was done. All right. But our people, you know what I'm saying? With our people, so simple, man. They talk about big numbers, 20 billion, which 20 billion ain't shit. 20 trillion. That ain't shit either. America make that every year. You see what I'm saying? They could just, defer all their funds for 1 year. You see what I'm saying? The very next year, they got that back. You see what I'm saying? You think they really breaking the bank, giving so-called Negroes $20 trillion in 1 year? No, they'll make it right back the very next year. And really, that ain't really hurting them when they got the money printing machine. They print the money. They could just literally keep making their money and just print more money. Here you go, niggas. And then devalue it. You see what I'm saying? It says, Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. All right. And that's exactly where we at now. That's one of the key things that our people need to understand. First of all, you need to understand who you are, who your enemy is, and where you at. All right. And you got to understand that this enemy ain't got nothing out set forth good for you. All right. He's only trying to destroy your ass. That when you go back to Genesis 27 and 41, 40, I believe 40, 41 and 42 or something like that. 41 tell you that Esau has his hatred in his heart, he want to slay his brother Jacob. All right. This is his plan and his purpose. He don't got nothing good for you in heart. All right. Also in what is that? I think that's Ezekiel 35, or it might be Ezekiel 35, or it might be Obadiah 1 and 10, where it says, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee." All right, because what you done to the Israelites, you see what I'm saying? But now we in this time in this place. All right, it says, "Surely oppression maketh the wise man mad." All right, so yeah, you should be angry, upset. If you're a wise man, you know what I'm saying? If you're a wise man, all right, and somebody come into your house and shoot your dog, and your dog laying there dead, and they shot your dog for no reason. They just walked into a random house and shot your dog. You shouldn't be happy about that. You shouldn't be like, "Oh, well, I'll just forgive." No, man, whoa, that was straight wickedness, man. Your ass is, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying? But on top of that, oppression. You sitting over here oppressing somebody all day long. You got somebody in whips and chains and you beating the hell out of them. You think they're going to love you? You think they're going to like that? No, they're going to be mad and upset, man. All right. It says, "Surely oppression maketh the wise man mad." All right. And that's pretty much how the men of the Lord are right now. When we talking about us being angry, this and that, man, we know where we at. We oppressed, man. We upset. You see what I'm saying? We don't like being here. All right. It says, "And the gift destroyeth the heart." And so that's the main part that I wanted to bring out as far as these reparations being presented to us as some kind of gift. What our people don't realize is the so-called white man didn't turn over no new leaf. He didn't just wake up one day and say, "You know what? I done fucked up. I got to set these niggas right, man. I can't sleep no more, man. I done gave my life to God, man. I got to set these niggas." No, man. This ain't what's going on. You got to understand the damn devil and how the devil works. The devil's not coming out to you like, "Fuck y'all niggas, we trying to kill y'all niggas." He won't never come out like that. He gonna always come out with, just like with the Tuskegee experiment and these vaccines and shit like that. You wondering why your kid got autism and all that. Oh, we want to give your kids vaccines to help them to fight off all these diseases, to make them a better child. But then they come out way more destroyed than what the fuck did they, before they walked in there. Most people go to the doctor and shit like that. They go in with, like, let's say a headache, come out, they're like, "Yo, dog, you only got 3 months to live, cuz." Like, "Motherfucker, I only had a headache." Like, "Yeah, bro, that headache is because," no, the headache is because I got hit in the head with something. Motherfucker, I just needed something to suppress the pain for a minute. See what I'm saying? But these people, they come with a deceitful tongue, basically saying, like, how the scriptures say, "Peace, peace." There is no peace. Oh, this isn't it, but I'll read this as well too, where it's like peace, peace, but there is no peace. All right, this is this is actually a better point right here. All right, this is Psalms 55 and 20. It says, "He put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He have broken his covenants." Now let's turn back to the so-called Native American Indians. All right, when the so-called white man came over, he made, I believe, 431 treaties with the so-called Native American Indians and broke every last one of them. All right. Look at them with today's terms. All right. They made a treaty with what you call it? Iran. They broke those treaties. I believe it was Barack Obama made a treaty with them. Donald Trump broke it. Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev made a treaty with basically the USSR, or what before it was Russia. Well, before the state now, after World War II. You see what I'm saying? They had made a treaty then. All right, which was the fall of the Soviet Union. All right, the Iron Curtain. All right, that was when that fell. All right, and then what? They made treaties with them, so on and so forth. But now what? They broke these here treaties. The what is it? The INF treaty. All right, these ballistic missile treaties and so on and so forth. But now all these things are being broken. So what? You got to look at the so-called white man and judge him for his character, or like the scriptures say, judge a tree by its fruits, man. Every year I come by the same damn tree, it's always got oranges on there. So whoever put the sign beside the tree to say an apple tree, I don't believe that shit, man, because every year I came by, I always see oranges on this tree. I ain't never seen an apple on this tree at all. So because you got a sign beside the so-called white man because he a saint, he an angel, he trying to help you out, this, and I don't care what people saying about you. Let me look at your actions, man. All the things you've been doing is just death and destruction. All right, verse 20. Psalms 55 and 20. He has put forth his hands against such and be at peace with him. He have broken his covenants, his covenant. All right. He broke his covenant, the things he set up. All right. He didn't wrote these things in the law, whatever, whatnot, or made treaties with people. And then he wound up breaking the shit that he wound up writing. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. All right. That's what's going on right now. Yeah. We want to help you niggas out, get you reparations. That's what these campaigners are trying to campaign on. They trying to see who's going to be the new leader, the so-called black folks, and lead them into destruction. You see them saying in this campaign, who y'all want to vote for? Who, you know, we want to make sure that y'all still believe into our system. So we're going to give you what you want to hear. All right. Like our people say, hey, there's also a scripture about that. Our people say, prophesy unto us smooth things, just like here. But they talking to us, the men of the Lord, or these false prophets, to tell them the things they want to hear. Yeah, you can be a homosexual and you can get into the kingdom of heaven. They want to hear shit like that. But what? Those type of things are so-called good to your ear, or things that you want to, basically like saying things you want to hear. Whether they be right or wrong, it's things that you just want to hear. All right. You could be completely wrong in whatever situation, but you want to hear that you're right. That's something smooth to your ear. All right. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Yeah, we know we fucked up. We want to give y'all reparations. This is what a lot of these people are campaigning on right now. Yeah, we want to talk about reparations. We want to help out black people for the first time. Nobody ever thought about black people like this. We want to help out black folks and give them reparations and so on and so forth and help them out. The words of their mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. All right. The words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Because why? This is like the scripture read, opening up, a gift destroyeth the heart. All right. You give Jake, just like what they did in our neighborhoods, man. They took away the jobs, economic flow. All right. Then they put a resource inside the hood. That resource was what? Drugs. Now you see what's going on. You got our people fighting over the drugs in the neighborhood to control the drugs in the neighborhood, because that's a source of income or economy for them. You see what I'm saying? They don't have no resources, so they fight over the small resources that they got. This is why you see even people, especially back in the days, gang banging over turf. Like, yo, man, you can't be selling your drugs on my block, man. This is my, this is what I'm eating off of. This is my field that I'm reaping off of. All right. But what the so-called white man is the one is giving you these things to further destroy you. All right. All these things are made to destroy you. It's not to help you out. You might think, well, shit, I ain't got shit else. I might as well slang this dope. But you don't realize that slanging that there dope, first and foremost, it can get you fucked up in a system where you can't really do shit in this system. Second of all, it's not only destroying your people that you're selling it to, it's destroying your neighborhood and the children and the generations. It's putting a bad stigma onto you and your people's names, and all these things going downhill. So, but you thinking that because you don't have no resources and the so-called white man some kind of way gave you some kind of drugs to sell to your people and it's a come up, that it's going to help you out, but it's further destroying you. But again, it's not coming. The so-called white man, they'll roll up to you, put a gun in your hand, say, go kill all these niggas. Nah, man, I know y'all down and broke, but look, here's this new drug, man. Y'all can make a killing off of this shit, man. I'm telling you, man, just go ahead and, do what you got to do, man. All right. Let me grab my next precept. Go to Job real quick, because see, this is how homeboy's trying to sell this reparations or get his way into this new so-called election or this new reign of rulership just by continuing us asleep. All of America works by keeping Jake asleep, man. If they would have brought us over into slavery in the times we was enslaved, and we would have woke up to who we were at that point in time, we would be like, fuck nah, bro, we ain't doing this shit no more. It would have ended back then. If we would have woke up like where we waking up now, if this would have happened at any other point in time before then, the things he's doing right now would have taken place back then. You see what I'm saying? But because we was asleep the whole time, we was blinded the whole time, he can continue on with it. But now he's having to push harder and harder and harder. All right. Just like the scripture in Revelation 12:12, the devil has come down to you having great wrath because he know he have but a short time. All right. He's pulling out all his stops. All right. Now, in this sense, he's not necessarily coming out to you with straight wickedness, evil and all that, killing you like that. He coming down with all the stops. All right. Well, if these niggas want reparations, we ain't really forgiving them no money. But if he'll calm them down, put them back to sleep for a time being, fuck it, we'll give it to him. That means we just got to take it back from him at a later time. All right. So let me go to Job 20:18 real quick. This is Job 20:18, because our people, like the scriptures say, it's a righteous thing to repay them back, that trouble you. So it is a righteous thing for the so-called white man to have to pay his reparations back. The so-called white man will, according to the scriptures, he shall and he will pay us back reparations, according to the scriptures, not according to the white man. All right. Because the so-called white man is trying to give you back them 2 pennies after stealing your $100. The Most High say, look, you stole $100 from them. You got to pay them back $200. All right. So this is Job 20:18. It says, that which he labored for shall he restore. All right. So all the wickedness you've been laboring for, all these countries you've been stealing, like Venezuela, you trying to steal all the resources from Venezuela, you got to give all that back, man. It says, that which he labored for shall he swallow down and shall not slack. That which he labored for shall he restore and shall not swallow it down, according to his substance. So according to all the shit that he got, everything that he got, all right, shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Now, restitution is like things you basically got to pay back. Again, it's like reparations, things you got to pay back to make whole again, right? When you go to jail or when you go to the court system or whatever, whatnot, you got to so-called pay your restitution back, whether that be community service, jail time, a fine, whatever, whatnot. That's basically like a reparation to make someone back whole again, all right? So let me read this all the way through. Job 20 and 18 and 19. It says, oh shit, I'm going to read it all the way down to 21. Well, damn. I'll read to 24. 18, Job 20 and 18, it says, that which he labored for shall he not restore, or Salak, that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away a house which he builded not. Now, who does that sound like? Who was oppressed and was poor and was forsaken? Who had a house violently taken away? That would be you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Not just you ADOS or B1, you American descendants of slavery. Not just the so-called black man. All right, not just the so-called Negroes that was here in America, but all the tribes. All right, because we was all in captivity under the so-called Slock. We all still in captivity under the so-called white man. To this day, every last tribe is still under captivity into the so-called white man, still getting hell put up on them. Hell, right now, the so-called Negroes got it better than the so-called Venezuelans out there. They in the damn dark. You see what I'm saying? They got constant war going on against them with the power outages and so on and so forth. You know, they about to get their country invaded, man. You Jake right now, you know, you got it bad, or you Negroes here in America, you got it bad right now too, but you ain't, you know, at least you got electricity in your house right now. All right. It says, because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away a house which he builded not. So-called white men took away, hey, Venezuela, I say no more. You see what I'm saying? Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eaten. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. So this is talking about when it's going to happen, and measuring the time diligently. We see everybody arming up with these nuclear weapons and everything like that, and everything coming to an end. All right, like Scripture also say, if time wouldn't be shortened, no flesh would basically survive, but you know, save the elect's sake, time's gonna be shortened. So if we looking at everything else, we can measure the time diligently. All right, those weapons of the Lord's indignation are getting prepared to be used. And this here is saying, look, when he's about to fill his belly, the so-called white man's pretty much got his whole system fully accomplished. All right, but what, he's about to pay back all the restitution, all the things that he owed back. All right, and that includes you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Look, the Most High gonna take him out of power, and then you gonna get your reparations. All right, he not gonna, so-called white man not gonna give you a portion. All right, again, he not gonna take $100 from you and give you 2 pennies and continue ruling off your $100. You see what I'm saying? That's not gonna happen. All right, let me grab my next precept, because this one here goes actually into what you're gonna get for a reparation. This is Ezekiel 37 and 18. No, Salak. Oh, Slacky. I'm actually, we're not gonna grab it. Let me go to Isaiah 60 real quick before I go there. Let me go to Psalms 2 to set this up this way. Nope. Give me 1 second. I was just kind of flowing through the spirit for a minute. I wanted to kind of line these here scriptures up, kind of sort of play out like a song, the song that we sing. So I'm gonna go to Revelation chapter 13, verse 10, just to the point. It says, Revelation 13 is 10. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. All right. And how do we get over here? Where are we at right now? We in captivity. How do we get here in captivity? The so-called white man brought us here into captivity. All right, we can grab that in Joel. I'm not going to grab it for time's sake, but Joel chapter 3, verse 6. All right, it breaks it down for you right there. All right. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. All right. Now, go back to Genesis 27, verse 38 tells you that Esau was given a sword for his blessing. He was going to live by the sword. All right. That's how he was going to maintain and rule the earth. We go to Revelation chapter 6, verse 4, I believe. That's that red horse where it's talking about he was given that great sword to take peace from the earth and to kill with the sword, basically. So he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. That's the so-called white man. He gonna go out the same way he established his way of being. All right. And the same way he led us into captivity, into slavery, he's going into slavery. All right. To finish that off, it says, here's the patience and the faith of the saints. That's a key part right now. All right. Here's the patience. This is what the men of the Lord are patiently waiting on. And we have faith that this is going to take place. All right. But you having faith in the so-called white man who didn't let you down every time to begin with. But the Most High ain't let us down. Like the scripture says, see, look back at any man who called upon him and put their trust in the Most High. Was they confounded? You know, they wasn't left out there to dry. Nah, the Most High was right there with him the whole time. All right. So from there, we're going to go to Jeremiah 30 and 16. This is Jeremiah 30 and 16. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries. Let me go back. Therefore, all that devoured thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. All right. So that's pretty much talking about what? Basically, like, if they didn't do something to you, like it says here, they devoured you, they swallowed you up, right? Just like us over here. They got it. We devoured over here, man. We destroyed over here, man. We down to nothing. We so fucked up over here that we don't want to disown who we are to be somebody else, completely somebody else, man. Because we've been devoured, we've been destroyed over here. All right. It says, therefore, all that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries. Who's our adversary? Who's our main enemy? The so-called white man. Hell, you can read that in Psalms 83, where that's the head of that tabernacle, or that conglomeration of nations. All right. It says, they that hate thee have lifted up the head. All right. Who's that? They that hate them, starting out with Esau, Edom. All right. It says, and all thy adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. All right. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So that backs up what we just read in Revelation chapter 13, saying, you know, he that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. Here it's saying the same thing. You know, those that devoured you, those that caused you harm, you're going to wind up doing the same thing unto them. All right. They're going to wind up being in subjection up under you. All right. So let me get to Psalms 2 real quick. Psalms 2 and 8. It says, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. All right. So this is, you know, the Lord talking, you know, the Most High talking to YAHAWASHI, and we being men of the Lord being what? Joint heirs with YAHAWASHI. All right. But here it's clearly saying, ask of me, basically saying, look, I give it to you. All I want you to do is ask me for it, bro. All you got to do is ask. I give it to you. Ask of me. Now, this is a righteous thing, because I know a lot of our people be tripping over slavery, whatever, whatnot. What the so-called white man did to us is more than slavery, man. All right. But nevertheless, it says, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen, all right, for thy inheritance. All right. So first and foremost, well, let me make this point here. The number one resource on the planet Earth is the human resource. If you really look into it right now, this is how Esau is blessed. So blessed right now because of us, man. All right. We was the number one resource to all these other people on the planet Earth, because like the scriptures say, hey, all nations are going to be blessed through you. All right. We was in captivity up under all these different nations. We under captivity up under them. We built them all the way up. Just like Egypt. We was in Egypt. Well, Egypt was around before we got there. But then what? When we got there, it said that we built the choice cities for, Ramesses. We built all them damn cities up. We built all the greatness of Egypt up when we got there. So people still marvel at Egypt because of the things we did there. Just like into this modern day Egypt. All right. Like America was, you know, well, America had, with the natives was over here first, but nevertheless, when the so-called white man came over here, all right, they had this nation, this land. They didn't even know how to rule the land, but what the so-called natives had to teach them how to farm and eat and whatever, whatnot. Then they brought the so-called Negroes and them over here. All right. And we wound up building up this here place for them, and we maintain this place for them. All right. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, even into the same day, man. All right. You got the Latinos out there in the farms and, building houses and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Or in restaurants cooking for you. You know what I'm saying? You got the so-called Negroes and stuff out there also working in construction, warehouses and things like that, man. All right. This is, hey, man, you living off our backs, man. But what the Lord said, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. All right. So notice there, they ain't saying nothing about no money. They're not asking for no money. The Lord didn't tell you to ask for no damn money, because money is bullshit, man. I tell you, like a so-called white man told me, he said, look, I can give you niggas all the money that we got. There's only one thing you niggas can do with that money, and that's give that money back to us. We own all the resources. All right. So here it says, ask me and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance. Why do you want the heathen? Or why do you want the human resource? Why do you want humans? Because gold, diamonds, and oil and all that shit is not important. Because again, just like I made the example earlier about us running all these businesses, if you was the basketball coach or the owner of the basketball team and everybody else quit, you know, the players and all that quit, you're not going to go out there and play basketball. All right. You need them to go get you the money for you. All right. Just like in modern days today, if somebody was to give you a gold field, gold mine, or oil field and all this, you got to do all that work, man. You don't want that shit. Well, you do want the land, but first and foremost, you want the human resource. If I got slaves, motherfucker, I don't care about the land. I can use my slaves, and my slaves will go and conquer you, your land, and your army. Put y'all in subjection. Then we'll go and I'll use them to go take the oil up out the ground. As long as I got the human resource, yo, we got armies. Look at the so-called white man. The so-called white man himself ain't going into these nations and taking no shit like that. He's got his military, which he's basically built up of us. And we over there taking all this shit for everybody else. And plus, if we not in the military, our tax dollars are the ones, you know, because the lower class is the one paying the majority of the taxes. All these tax dollars is going to fund what? The military and all these things, all right? I just brought out a lesson, I think yesterday, talking about this propaganda. Taxpayers paid $33 million to create this video game for the government to basically brainwash and train people to train them, put them in the military. You see what I'm saying? But hey, they tell you that the super rich and these elites, they got tax breaks and so on and so forth. So they're not paying for this shit. It's really you so-called low and middle class Jake, man, that's paying for all this, man. All right. So this is why it's important to have that human resource, man. The human being is the most important resource on the planet Earth, man. Because again, if somebody gave you the planet Earth, the whole planet Earth, let's say the Most High said just you on the planet Earth, you got all the gold, all the resources, motherfucker, you got to get all the shit, man. All right. You the one got to get all the shit, the gold, shape the gold, dig up the gold, sell the gold, advertise the gold, all that. Nah, man, you want the human resources. All right. Just like a business owner with all this stuff. You got a business. Let's say Amazon. If Jeff Bezos had to sit there and process every order that came in on Amazon and go out to the store and ship out every package and write down every package, the address on every, he wouldn't be in business. He'd be like, this shit is too much for hell no. I'd rather go and employ people, hire people, have my human resources do all the work for me, and I just collect all the money. All right. That's the most important thing, the human resource. So instead of asking for this here money for reparations, man, look what the Lord is telling you in these here scriptures, man. All right. Like I said, man, if you come to the scriptures, it's way more iller than what you thought you was on. You thought you was on some ill shit over there, some gangster shit over there. That ain't no gangster shit, man. The Most High is on some real gangster shit, man. All right. You asking for some money, $20 trillion. The Most High said, ask of me and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance. You're going to possess these people and they, how you say, you're going to possess their soul, man. Just like how, they possess our souls here. Like in Revelation 18, they say, the things that was found inside of Babylon the Great was the souls of men. All right. You got our people doing all the things, like all our people that so-called cooning and following after Esau and not following after the Lord. They basically, soul is trapped up under the so-called white man. That's their God. That's who they worshiping. All right. But this is going to be the same thing in reverse, man. They're going to have to worship, basically worship us in order to serve our Lord. All right. And when we get them in captivity. All right. So it says, ask of me and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance and the uttermost part of the earth for thy possession. So first and foremost, it was said first you was going to get the heathen. All right. Then you're going to get the land and everything else. All right. Because, the heathen will go and plow the rest of the land and get all the resources, from it. All right. Let me read verse 9. It says, thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. So yeah, we're going to wind up getting them. And we're going to do exactly, well, the scripture say we're going to pay unto them, render unto them double what they did to us. So, I mean, all the shit, the atrocities they done to us, we're going to do a double unto them. All right. Let me finish out with this in Isaiah 60. I know I went on way longer than I expected, but Isaiah 60. Now this is a great chapter to read, talking about your reparation package. All right. But let me see how long I'm going. All right. So, I'm going to just read it all the way, not all the way through, but, I'm going to read, you know, the bulk of this here chapter. Isaiah 60 verse 4 says, lift up thy eyes round about and see all they gathered themselves together. They come to thee. Thy son shall come from afar and thy daughter shall be nursed at thy side. All right. Because we were scattered in the four corners of the earth, but we're going to all be brought back together. Then thou shalt see and flow together and thy heart shall fear and be enlarged. All right. So this is like you basically hitting the damn lottery. You know what I'm saying? You like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? You kind of like scared, taken back, you shook, but not because somebody trying to kill you, that type of scare. You kind of like, oh shit, I didn't, you know, if you was dead broke, you was on your last little, you know, you got your last quarter to scratch this last little lottery ticket and you just hit for 100 billion, you know, your reaction, you know, just think about that, what reaction you would have. All right. There's really no words to explain this. We really don't even know how we're going to freak out, but it's telling us now. But that's just a small example of what's really coming. It says, then thou shalt see and flow together. Thy heart shall fear and be enlarged. Because of the abundance of the sea is talking about a massive group of people, more or less to say. Like when you go to a stadium, a football game, a soccer game, they say, I see a sea of people. All right. They the sea of people that they talking about, it's not talking about they looking at a bunch of people in the ocean or something like that. No, it's just a, you know, like at the games, they be doing a little wave or they be standing up or whatever, whatnot. It's a sea of people. Right. So this is what it's talking about. But it says, because of the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. So all their riches, all the things, all their possessions is going to be converted unto you. You're going to wind up getting all these things, man. Your eyes are going to be open. Well, you're going to basically be taken back. You're going to be shocked. Oh, shit, man. All this for me. And now there's another point on this. This kingdom of heaven is going to take place here on earth, man. All right. This is going to be here on earth, man. This ain't one of these old Christian fairy tales like just let the white man do what he going to do. And when we die, you know, we're going to get ours and so on and so forth. And no, man, you know what I'm saying? Now, you might have to actually die on this side before you actually see this, but you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you're going to come right back, you know what I'm saying, with reincarnation. And when you do come back, this time when you come back, all right, you're going to be basically in the kingdom of heaven, all right? Because we at the end of this thing, we at the transition of all these things. We see Esau coming out of power. That's why he's trying to offer up a so-called bargaining chip so he don't have to give up everything. He want to just give up a small portion to keep reigning, but no, he going to give up everything because it is written, all right? It says, verse 6. And we're going to get into the things that they're going to be bringing us. See, you only worried about money. That money ain't worth shit, especially when they devaluing that same dollar you asking for. All right. It says, the multitudes of camels shall cover thee, the dormities of Midian and Ephah, and all they from Sheba shall come, and they shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praise of Yahawah. Well, let me just read verse 7 as well. And all the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee, and the rams of Nebonoth shall minister unto thee, and they shall come up with an acceptance on my altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. So you're going to have all these different nations coming to us and bringing us, well, let me just keep reading. Verse 9, surely the isle shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from afar, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of Yahawah thy power, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he have glorified thee. So not only are you going to be getting a multitude of heathens coming to you to bring their kings, they children. Well, we're going to get into that. Let me just read it all the way through. Verse 10, and the sons of the stranger shall build up thy walls, and their king shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I have mercy on thee. Therefore, thy gate shall be open continually. Well, let me just go ahead and break it down one by one. All right. So they're going to be bringing, it's going to be a flood of people. You know, it's going to be a constant train of people coming over and over and over and over again, bringing us more and more wealth, more and more riches. You see what I'm saying? They're going to be bringing us all of their shit, man. Everything that they got, anything of value, they're going to be bringing it to us. And even the things that they don't got of value, they're going to be bringing to us. They're going to be bringing themselves and their children as well for the purpose of captivity and slavery. They're going to want to serve us because after the destruction, the definite destruction is going to go down on Esau, Edom, on this here side. And when the Lord come back and bring this destruction, these other nations going to fear us, just like in the first time when we left up out of Egypt, where we would go to certain places and stuff like that. And some people would already be like, hell no, we ain't fucking with y'all. We heard about what y'all power do. Fuck that. Y'all can have whatever y'all want, whatever, bro. Y'all good. You know what I mean? So that's what it's going to be like. Verse 9, it says, surely the isle shall wait for me, the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from afar, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of Yahawah and thy power and the Holy One of Israel, because he have glorified thee. So what? We're going to wind up getting all their sons, their daughters, their gold, their silver, all their resources. All right. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I had mercy on thee. Just like how we built up the White House, we built up all of America. America was built up off the backs of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites. All right. Our kingdom of heaven is going to be built up off of these Edomites and these other nations. All right. Their sons and their daughters as well. All right. It says, and their king shall minister unto thee. All right. Just like how we were set up in the old days where Daniel, Joseph, Mordecai, Who else was set up like that? But these men, Moses, you know what I'm saying? They was all set up pretty much as like number 2 in the place where they was at. You know what I'm saying? They was pretty much set up under the king. All right. But then we had to minister unto them. Like Daniel, Nebuchadnezzar wanted to know what his dream was. So he had, I believe it was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and Daniel. I believe he set them all up to be presidents or rulers or like second in command up under him. Same with Joseph and all these things. All right. But what? It's going to be like that on the flip side. Well, hell, today, in modern days, today's terms, you had what? George Bush had Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell. When he was needing to sell this here war, he needed wisdom from them. All right. When people didn't believe George Bush about this weapons of mass destruction, they sent Colin Powell out there. All right. To help manipulate the people. Isaiah 60 and 11. It says, therefore, thy gates shall be open continually. All right. This is going to be like Walmart, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, man. Our gates going to be open continually. For what reason? That they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, that their kings may be brought. For the nation and the kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall utterly be wasted. So our gates are going to be open continually. They're going to be bringing to us not only the kings, or not only these heathen nations and just low level people, but they kings as well too. The Bushes, the Trumps, and all that. Whoever these leaders are, they're going to all be brought forth. All right. And again, to show you that this is going to be on here on earth, right here where we at. Verse 12 says, for the nation and the kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Now, if we talking about being in the kingdom of heaven and these people don't want to worship us in the kingdom of heaven, like in heaven, you know, like in the pearly gates type of deal like that, you know what I'm saying? How they going to be utterly wasted if they are spirit? You see what I'm saying? This is going to be a physical kingdom with physical people walking around right here on earth, just like we in Esau's kingdom of heaven right now. All right. Let me jump down to verse 14. The sons of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of YAHAWAH, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. All right. Verse 15, whereas thou have been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of kings. Thou shalt know that I am YAHAWAH, am thy savior and the redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. So we're talking about sucking the breast of kings. Hey, again, human resources. All right. Like a baby sucking on a titty is what? You getting that nutrients, vitamins and nutrients, resources to build you up and sustain you. You know, that's your food, right? So if like, hell, right now, they basically sucking on our titty. You know what I'm saying? All the things that they got is being built up because of us. But it's going to be in reverse, man. They going to want to be all their labor, you know, all the works of their labor. We're going to wind up reaping all of that. All right. Now, getting into the actual, you know, you want to talk about money and all these things as far as reparations. Now, we just was reading about how we getting slaves, the human resource, the most important resource on the planet Earth, man. All right. That's the most important resource. That's what you should be asking for. First and foremost, you should be asking for salvation. All right. But ultimately, this is, you know, what you should be looking forward to. Don't be looking forward to no damn money that the white man trying to give you that's being devalued anyway, that he going to wind up taking back from you anyway. All right. You give you all this money. He wind up raising taxes and he take all your money back anyway. See what I'm saying? You be good and rich for about 10 minutes, then you be gone. Isaiah 60 and 17. For brass, I will bring gold. See, start out with that. You motherfuckers is asking for a small amount of money to begin with. The Most High got something far beyond what you looking for. Are you asking for brass and he gonna bring you gold? Right now, you motherfuckers asking for money. But he trying to give you the souls of the men that's got the damn money. You see what I'm saying? Isaiah 60 and 17 again. For brass, I will bring gold. For iron, I will bring silver. For wood, brass. For stone, iron. I will make thy officers peace and thy exactors righteous. All right. Violence shall be no more heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. Thou shalt be called the praise of salvation, and thy gates praise. So what? When we get into the kingdom of heaven, man, these different nations ain't gonna be coming up onto us, trying to take our resources back from us. All right. So, but right now, if the so-called white man is to give us this here money, what you think he gonna be doing? If you don't know, look at Venezuela. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahawah, Bahashim, YAHAWASHI, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us his truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing his truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.